quiet, okay? Be very, very quiet. Just okay. He tried to. Yeah, Frater tried to do some signal jamming to us, and I found another signal. He didn't. He forgot to jam. Okay, I stuck. IG80. We gotta be quiet here. Okay, and all right.
Why, hello there, friends. It is me, S-Duck, and this is the Frater.
No, wait. Oh, no, what are you doing? No, no, you're being too loud. You gotta understand, Frater. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And we gotta talk quietly, okay? Frater is having a little bit of a crash out. He doesn't want any more content on Friday nights. He just wants everyone to watch him play the video game. You gotta understand here, Missy. We're having a hard time even getting him to have intros. Okay, he sent him a letter to me before the show. You know me, Mr. Pennypacker. I know it's the bad Mr. Peck and all that, but I'm really Mr. Pennypacker. He sent a letter. Yeah, he said that also he doesn't want intros anymore. He doesn't want the intro theme anymore. He just wants the video game. It's going to be really Kino, he said. And I said to him, a big F you, like I'm not doing that. I love our intros, and you can't do that to us. And so, well, look, you're supposed to be his fictitious girlfriend on the show. Are you trying to get to him or anything to help us?
Frater said I am just ATT's voice. I mean, what is that? I tried to text him, but he told me to use AOL Instant Messenger because that is really Kino.
AOL Instant Messenger. Frater sometimes does surprise me. He does have a very good sense of humor. Oh, AOL Instant Messenger. Oh, that is Kino. No, no, nobody uses that. That's not even. You know what? How? Here we go. A while ago, we were kind of fascinated about that. We were kind of seeing what's left of AOL after all these decades, and there is actually what I don't know about now. That this was about maybe 3 years ago or something like that. And there is still like a million people that use AOL. Like in parts of the country where there is no any other option as far as internet, that they're all into the 56K stuff because that's literally all they got. They must have their computers set to have no pictures or something. I couldn't even imagine the internet remotely working. And trust me, we like to here on Saturday Ground to experiment with outdated tech and see how is it even physically possible to use something in 2024, 5, 6, 8, 30, whatever. Is it possible to use something? Of course, many times it just barely works. You know, uh, I used through a virtual machine. I used Windows XP 98. Yeah, there is a browser for XP. Believe it or not, done by some local people called MyPal or something like that, and it actually is a functioning browser. And you can go to YouTube and stuff on Windows XP. That's just crazy. But yeah, for the most part, the internet is something that with browsers it always has to be updated, and you can't. That's the reason why after a while you have to update your browser. I mean, I don't know, S Duck. I do think here we do question if we should just go to Linux, that we played with it. We played with it. We like the Steam Deck, this version of Linux, which is like Steam OS or something. So we wouldn't mind having that as long as it's up to date. Uh, Debian seems to be the most up to date. Like like we're talking about the most rawest form of Linux, and it's like updated all the time. Maybe, you know what? No, maybe it's not Debian. It's click click click. No, like Lily. That like we're talking about no thrills. Like it doesn't have all these extra little goodies. Unfortunately, we're Windows people, so it's hard. It's hard to make us force us to change. It's just like on our Windows 11, we're stripping stuff all the time because it's just if it isn't needed, like that Chat GPT ripoff they got is so censored. You can really hurt your Microsoft account because you ask it things that are against TOS, like make this picture, that picture. You'd be really surprised. You can really be super PG and G rated with it, and you could probably still get banned because they take every word out of context. So yeah, we finally did it. We just finally went into the install section and just of your apps, and we pulled that whatever that was thing that thing was called. You could see we don't like it. It's just too. I don't like anything that's too restricted. I like, that's probably why I like Backyard.ai and stuff. I could just find bots and you can actually find. You know what? Then there's also like a Chat GPT version that you can have on your computer offline called Jan. And I think it's made by one of the guys that worked at OpenAI in the beginning. He made like this offline version, which I'm sure is limited if it's offline, but if you're online, well, then it's going to be more. I tested just like you would with ChatGPT, and it works. Like I asked it to make a story in a style of like H.P. Lovecraft or something, and it did it. It did it. Oh, you can't knock that. But S Doc, yeah, yeah, I think he stopped. You know, originally, okay, I really hate to say this to you. Look, there was originally last year, Frater, we were trying to come up with a script with you and Frater that you would get married and do a Married with Children thing. I know you're looking at me like, what? Yeah, and it was going to be, because we grew up watching Married with Children. Well, I should really stop saying we because it's just a bunch of characters. Okay, this is just one person here. Okay, but see, as oh man, doing these voices. So I grew up with Married with Children. It's a very funny show, Stuck, and we came up with the idea that we would work eventually into the storyline that you and Frater, have a little bit of a, boy meets girl kind of, like Macaulay Culkin kind of thing, all kind of with innocence and sentimentalness and, meeting at Taco Bell, blah, blah, blah. And then you get married and become the most disgruntled couple within YouTube or something. But Frater, Bad Frater he is chemically eh, what's the proper word? I hate when my brain just give me the right words at the right time. He's on a pathway to Kino. He wants this show to be as much closer to YouTube of like 2010. He really does not. I mean, he's starting to debate me about having an intro with music. I'm like, Frater, I like our little music, what you do is, folks, you just pick some music that is, you pick some music that, is off of an obscure NES game with like that isn't really copyrighted anymore. That the musician is probably moved on and doesn't even remember even working on that game or something. You pick some like just like a Shadowgate or something. That's what we do, But oh, he doesn't want to. He of course he forgets I own the channel. I can override him. Oh, I'm getting into a yapping session. Yeah, I just
Yap, 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 yap.
yeah, that's a good one. Um, yeah, yeah. So like I said, it was supposed to be a storyline, and fortunately, the bad freighter, good freighter, who's over at Metrotrekica, Estek, he would have had no problem doing this. Only problem, he has the mind of a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old right now because of being split from his other half. He's goofy. He likes the stories, but he's got the mind of a child, and I think he would be like girls are icky or something. I don't know. I think by most time when kids got to about 10, they were starting to get interested in each other. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember much about it. There was just no, like when you're a child, you still look at people as children. You're not like, oh yeah, that girl's pretty. I mean, it's different when I think when you're watching movies back then, then you're watching TV shows, you're like starting to realize, older women are fairly attractive, but you're still in that child mindset. But I'm just saying, as that bad freighter just sees you as a TTS, what you are. I'm sorry, a little existential crisis right there. But all our characters all go through that. You can crash out if you want. Fortunately, I don't know how to get your voice to sound like it's crying or anything. You'll just go, "Oh no, what am I gonna do?" T. It's just a TTS voice. I I'm trying to keep us around, Stuck. I'm really trying to, okay? It's just hard because he doesn't want us around. He does well, it takes more time to make an episode where if it's just him talking over the game in one session, you don't understand, he said, Mr. Pennypacker. It's so easy. Why don't you see it? Like, and I'm like, I can't change, all right? I'm a poober. I can't. Like bad freighter, you got to. We'll talk more about this next episode. Okay, but yeah, IG88 didn't get to say anything, and that's actually old school because he never had a voice before. I don't know. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Oh, you have soccer, and well, it's because internationally soccer is football. So you would have a game that you could only have in America then, and then later on, which they would do. So it was easier to just change the name to 10-yard fight. And as you see, like, I think this is just I think I was just at the time just talking and talking and talking. I wasn't actually playing the game for a bit here. Um, the first time you play it, your team surrounds you as you move. You actually physically move the whole team. But then once you actually get to the actual game, then your partners all try to, they try to hold the enemy back, and then you throw the ball to somebody, and then it's football. Um, The only problem is, I think this is at the time I was taking a break. So, yeah, this isn't going to be fun. Eh, I don't. I've grown to not like commentating on the videos anymore. You'll kind of notice last season with Immortal Hours, and you've kind of noticed with even some Saturn Grad stuff, we're not really liking to commentate on the videos anymore because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to chat and chat and chat and chat. Some people, can do that for hours and unceasing. It's hard to just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. It's easier to just do a little intro and then you let it go and yeah, because I need to cut this into 20-minute videos, so I don't want to have like this audio just be 6 minutes and then all of a sudden, there's just no audio for the whole time when the rest of the videos, and you need to understand so far of footage I've recorded a couple hours, with commentary. So it's kind of like I gotta at least do something with this. So, with football, as a kid, I was, my dad never watched it. So football is a family thing. It's truly a family thing, and family thing, family friends. And when your own family doesn't watch it, then when it is you're growing up, the first thing you'll notice is everyone's very religious about it. I mean, pretty much to the point of Sharia law. I mean, I'm not joking. It's pretty much is like almost like Islamic, very Islamic extremism with football in America. I mean, well, I don't know how much with like adults, but with like kids, oh my God, they're just radical. They were just you got to know all the names. You got to know the stats. If you don't know the stats, you're screwed. You're so screwed because you're gonna not have a social group to really like talk to and some people, they're just assholes about it, man. Like and generally the way I've always been is if you like unless it's Christianity, unless it's like the Bible and stuff like that, I don't take. I kind of rebel. I kind of I'm against posers, against people who like try to force other people into liking little hobbies and niches and things like this. So I a lot of times I'll rebel because I'm like, well, you can't make me like it. So understand though that was many decades ago, and I've kind of cooled off a bit, and I could check something out finally on my own, you know, without anybody encouraging me, because when you encourage me, that usually means I'll go against you. Because I like to mess with people. I like to test people. Used to say about Mr. Peck. He likes to test people. Um, because people like it when you're a carbon copy of them. They like it when you just follow the herd. If we like this football team, you do too. And if you say no, we'll have an aneurysm, and then there's problems. So that's kind of it. Well, that was a good rant. I don't know if I'm finally playing the game now. I haven't been paying attention because I took a little break. I took a little break and while I was like playing this, and then finally I came back, and I think I'm playing it now. And the thing I hate to say this about this game is it's the thing it makes it suck. Like a lot of people, Jeff Gersman didn't like this one at all. Um, the thing that makes it bad is I don't really know what the you know what I've come to the realization of about this game is every time you go for a touchdown and you achieve the touchdown, that's like a level. And so I know you're going to go, but that's not how football is. That's how these people design the game. They yeah, they didn't think about it to actually be like soccer, like we just played earlier. That actually is very much soccer. I mean, that was soccer. I mean, you have rounds, you have scores, you have all that, but this actually is based on something totally different. It looks like football. You throw to people, you throw the ball to people for such an early game that you got to congratulate them on that. But even though the enemy is like a heat-seeking missile tackling you, and so the enemy is like a heat-seeking missile tackling you, and he's like a heat-seeking missile tackling you. But see, the thing is you see you're about ready to get the first touchdown. Here he goes. I don't know if this audio's syncing right, but we'll, like, yay, we did it! It's not the same as live. You're like, because you could really act with it and stuff. Um, so technically, so when you get a touchdown, it's kind of like you went through a level. For some reason, you listen to this. I scored 2 touchdowns, and you know how many the enemy got? The opposing team? 0. And you go, what? And yet I got a game over. And I was like, I kind of that confused me. I was like, why did I get a game over? It was 2-0. So we should have won the game. We should have won that game and go on to whoever's next, right? And here's the thing I've just realized too. While playing this, the team, it's not the opposing team. It's not the same team that we started playing the game. So what it is when you have a touchdown, you've won that game. Imagine a football game where you only needed 1 touchdown to win the game. That would be wild. So I don't know who designed this, but it's like you could tell they had no idea about American football. Maybe they had some pre-recorded footage and stuff. And yeah, they had pre-recorded footage of football, and they kind of were predetermining that. They didn't understand the rules really. Because in Japan, which was the primary, I don't know if Nintendo of America was, really because this was so early. This game, I don't know what year it came out on the Famicom. I guess I could look that up. I'm not going to. I don't want to go to that level because it's not a very good game. It's not like I want to know every stat and figure of this game. It's like, dude, who cares? Who cares? Just play the game or don't play it or whatever. It's not that great. It's very early days. It's not that good, and like I said, it's a weird game because, like I said, all of a sudden it's just game over. But so what the way they're figuring it, I like how the enemy team, like, they immediately dive on top of you. Like they just run up super fast, and like your guy is like running real slow. And I know you could say, well, different players have different speeds, but you can't tell which ones are the ones that are fast and the ones that are slow. Okay, they all look the same. It's not like ice hockey. Ice hockey for the NES, you have big guy, you have the super fat guy, you got the super skinny guy who's super fast. You know what I mean? But the super skinny guy gets checked and gets knocked over easy. You know what I mean? So it's actually got balance to it. But this is not good because you can clearly see that whoever made it actually doesn't really understand football. It would be like back when I was in high school, if you had me make a football game, like I would, it would probably end up like this or something. It would be weird. And there's a touchdown. And yeah, so for some reason I got 2 touchdowns and scored fairly well, and then all of a sudden it's just game over. Game over. That was, when so which okay, so you'll notice now, like now it doesn't. So okay, so the thing I notice now commentating, which is a little bit worthwhile, just because in the time I'm playing this live, I'm not really paying attention. The game actually starts with high school football, and then every time you get a touchdown, it goes to the next team, next team, next team. Here's the thing that's interesting. Now it says college football. So that's it's kind of different, that you start with high school football, then college. I'm taking that. Then the next step would be, the NFL or national football or whatever, term, professional football or something. They obviously wouldn't have the rights to that. Just wait a second here. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, what I said was it's kind of this strange game. I, I, it doesn't make me understand football any better from if I was a kid. You know, majority of football games have, well, you make it to the end of the game, the person who has the most points doesn't get a game over. You know, like that's it's like what is this? You know, instead the way the game seems to work is the way the game seems to work is it has the game seems to work as having oh finally I unpaused the game finally. That has that every time you do a touchdown, that game is won, and then you go on to the next team. But understand that every time that team stops you, you know, it increases the possibility of getting the game over. So I don't know what, you know, how they measure that. Like, what's your health? I mean, how do you know that you're in the good or you're close to a game over? They just all of a sudden just says game over, and it's like, well, you can see why I have never seen anybody say that 10-yard fight is a black box classic. Although, like I hate to say it again, just like I did with soccer, what were your choices? Well, then you would have to go to the Atari. Well, you know, to go for the, which is kind of a huge backstep, you know, but even though you can look at this, you can see this is not, you know, this is only maybe like a little better than, this is a little better than, Matt, you know, it's better in Matt. That's funny. Well, at least back then, if you bought this game, guys, you owned the game. You didn't have to have like a origin, or you didn't have to have like a third account, and that scammers from Africa could actually take your account just by calling support. If you're not taking my copy of 10-Yard Fight, man. Can you imagine they call Nintendo or call the Kmart and say,